This isn't just a game, it's more than that. If you move after red light, you're gonna be shot!
Green light! Red light! Green light!
Hold on, wait, aren't you still?
Congratulations to you all.
356 million. Okay, that's good.
The series begins with Song Gi-hun, who now has red hair, walking through a...
What do you think you're doing? You have nowhere to go.
How about you stop running your mouth and show yourself?
You should have gotten on that plane. Going to regret that decision.
Gi-hun takes it out and flushes it down the sink. Meanwhile, Detective Hwang Junho is in a hospital bed. He remembers being shot by the frontman who had revealed he was Junho's brother. Suddenly, Junho opens his eyes for the first time, and a woman nearby shouts in surprise. The story jumps to 2 years later. Junho is now working as a traffic cop.
You're driving without a helmet. I'm gonna need to see your license.
Officer, how about you let us go? I have mine on. You know, you're super cute. Look up here, huh?
Now nothing, so he is not sure Junho's story is true. The photos Junho sent did not arrive, and he lost his phone in the ocean. When asked if he remembers who shot him, Junho lies and says he does not.
Do you remember what he looked like? The guy who shot you?
No. You know, why?
Story, but tells them there is a 1.1 billion won reward for finding the Doc G player and promises half the money to whoever finds him.
If you find the guy, you get half the reward, okay?
500 million.
Junho goes to a harbor and meets a fisherman on his boat. They go out to sea together, looking for the island. The fisherman to follow the salesman until he arrives. Meanwhile, a man who just got a card from the salesman ignores a call from his girlfriend, Jun-hee. She also has a card like his. As she blocks the call, she seems to be at a pregnancy clinic. But when the doctor comes out to call her, she is already gone. The boss and his friend follow the salesman. First, he buys lots of bread rolls and 100 scratch cards from a bakery. They trail him to a park where he's...
Hello, sir. You seem to be struggling, living a life with no hope of a future. You can only choose one. Bread roll or lotto ticket.
Why isn't he coming to us?
I don't know. Dang, and I had like a dream last night. I'm not the one here who wasted this.
As the salesman watches from above, if they lose, they face Russian roulette with a revolver. They play round after round, but no one gets shot.
Give it a spin. I'm ready if you are. Let's play. You'll put your hands out on my count. Paper, scissors. You didn't play anything. Rock, paper, scissors. -1. Like I said, your odds of survival are a whopping 5 and 6. Rock, paper, scissors. -1. Rock, paper, scissors. -1. Rock, paper, scissors. -1. Rock, paper, scissors. -1. Go. You didn't take back one of your hands. Disqualified.
That evening, Junho goes to Sunshine Capital but finds it empty, so he breaks when he saw the salesman and wants to thank him for inviting him to join the game. He also wants to speak to the people who hired him. The salesman starts telling a story about how he used to burn bodies at the games, then was given a gun. One day, he was told to shoot his own father, and he did. Gi-hun insults him, calling him a lapdog and saying he does not really understand the game because he has never played it. The salesman proposes a game of Russian roulette, where they take turns shooting, but they do not spin the gun. This way, after 6 turns, someone will definitely die. By the 5th turn, no one has been shot. The salesman thinks Gi-hun will shoot him to get to the people who hired him, but first, he wants Gi-hun to admit that he is trash and only won the game by luck.
The odds that gun will kill you are 1 in 2 now. The key's here in my pocket. All you have to do is shoot me with that gun and then it's yours.
The only thing you'd have to do now is pull that trigger once. You'd have to admit one thing to me. Put your little mask on and do whatever Master tells you to.
Junho hears a gunshot from outside the motel and he rushes inside to look for Gi-hun. Instead, he finds the boss's partner, gagged and tied up on a bed, so Junho frees him. Meanwhile, Gi-hun searches the salesman's body and finds a little black envelope with a pink ribbon in his pocket. Junho enters and points a gun at Gi-hun, telling him he is under arrest. Just then, the boss's partner comes in and knocks Junho out. Gi-hun looks at the card from inside the black envelope, which says, October 31st at midnight, Club HDH. A police officer finds a woman sleeping in her car. She says she works at the amusement park and is parked there because she has the morning shift. The officer warns her one last time and tells her she cannot stay there. Back at the motel, Gi-hun ties up Junho in the bath and they talk about where they have met before. Gi-hun explains his plan to stop the game by finding the front man. Junho lies and says he does not know who the front man is. Gi-hun recalls what Oh Il-nam said before he died, that he ran the game to please the clients, and those are the people Gi-hun wants to meet. Junho admits he saw one of the VIP's e-faces and suggests they could work together.
He said he only decided to create the game to please his clients.
That's right. We'll find these bastards together.
Sorry about your brother, but you need to forget about this.
Whatever you're trying to do, I know I can help.
Gi-hun then shows Junho and the boss's partner his money, stacked on a bed. He has not made much progress, but also has many weapons. He asks the boss's partner to help him form a team for revenge. The next morning at the amusement park, the woman from the car is dressed as one of the parade mascots. A little girl gives her a picture and the other mascots explain that the girl has blood cancer and needs a bone marrow transplant. Her father works at the park. Undercover, Gi-hun watches the mother and younger brother of his friends from the last game, Sang-woo and Se-byok. He meets with a broker to try to find Se-byok's mother. The broker tells him that she was recently released from a prison camp and has tuberculosis, so moving her is not possible. Gi-hun begs him to help her. The broker agrees to try, saying he owes her. Gi-hun gives the broker Se-byok's little brother's number and asks him to call if anything happens to Gi-hun. As Gi-hun is leaving, the woman from the amusement park enters. She tells the broker that she has been looking for her child but has been told by others that her child has already died. The broker explains that finding a 1-year-old in North Korea without parents is nearly impossible.
I have kids, I feel your pain, but I've already done everything I can.
Then I know you get it.
Not only that, her mother shot a superior officer and ran away to the south, just like some traitor. It's awful, I know. Telling you to forget about your kid, but it's the only thing you can do now.
That night, a man approaches her car and hands her a card inviting her to the game. Junho visits his brother's wife's grave. His brother, who is now the front man, has not been there in 5 years. Junho wonders if he will ever see him again. Instead, he has dinner with his mother, who tells him his brother left because he resented her. He even gave Junho a kidney, but got into trouble after accepting a bribe for his wife's care. At the amusement park, the woman quits her job. As she leaves, the sick little girl from earlier is taken away in an ambulance, dropping her strawberry hat. At Club HDH, there is a big Halloween party. Gi-hun and the boss's partner wear masks to blend in. Junho waits outside, but spots men dressed like the guards from the game and follows them inside. Gi-hun is approached by one of the guards while the other tasers the boss's partner. They take Gi-hun out of the club and into a limo. The rest of the team follows them in another car. Inside the limo, a golden piggy bank like the one from the game talks to Gi-hun. It tells him again that he should have gotten on the plane.
Player 456. You remember this car. I honestly hoped you would have a good life. That you'd put the past behind you.
I'm moved, I could almost cry.
You should have gotten on that plane. Say what you want to say. What do you want from me?
To stop the game once and for all.
We only created it. All of you chose to participate in a game of your own free will. Anyone who died was simply a player who lost the game. If the world doesn't change, the game doesn't end.
You say this is just the way the world works, but that's a story you made up to excuse your atrocities.
Your plan is to try and convince the horse owners to put a stop to the race.
Sniper, get down!
Did you really think you could end the game like this?
Let me play the game again.
You want to play again?
The returning winner who came back to play. Make it all even more entertaining. Why the hesitation? Worried you'll lose to me like Oh Il-nam?
Have you seen The Matrix? Do you think you're a hero too? Do you think you can change the world?
The world isn't always gonna work.
If that's what you want, then so be it.
The front passenger turns around and reveals himself as frontman, saying, "Player 456, welcome back to the game." Meanwhile, the players, including the parade mascot, arrive and go into lockers in cargo trucks to change into their outfits. The twist is that the woman from the amusement park wears the pink jumpsuit and mask of a guard, not a player. The next day at the harbor, the team is getting on the fisherman's boat. They use the tracker inside Gi-hun's tooth to follow him to the island. Meanwhile, Gi-hun wakes up, confused, and finds himself back in the game. He's in the same room with the same bunk beds, wearing the same green jumpsuit, and has the same number, 456. Everything feels the same as before, but Gi-hun is now determined to change things. The guards enter and announce that the players will compete in 6 games. The players are angry, demanding their belongings and protesting that they have been kidnapped and do not want to be there. To silence the players, the guards start revealing the debts they've accumulated and the reasons they were recruited.
Age 30, former owner of the YouTube channel MG Coin. Currently wanted for fraud and violating multiple communication and investment laws. Total debt, 1.8 billion won. 198, Chang Do-young, 1.4 billion. 226, Kim Young-sam, Yu Eun-ju, 4.02 billion. 100, Im Jung-dae. Total debt, 10 billion.
They don't give out 10 billion to just anyone. You have to work in the big leagues for that.
You called and volunteered to participate in this game of your own free will. If you look above you, you will see the piggy bank where your prize money is going to be stored. The total prize money is 45.6 billion won. After each game, you will be given a chance to vote on whether you'd like to end the games there or if you want to keep playing.
After game 1, if we vote to go, then the prize money gets divided among us?
That is correct. If you wish to participate in the games, then please sign the player consent form.
Gi-hun then reads through the consent form carefully and signs it, committing to participate in the game. On the boat, the fisherman asks what's going on. Junho explains that he found someone who had played the game on the island and survived, but now they have brought him back to play again. Luckily, they have fitted him with a tracker, which will help them locate him. Another player approaches player 230 and recognizes him as Thanos, a famous rapper. He excitedly mentions that he is a huge fan, and soon other players start asking for photos. However, they are told that it is not allowed. Thanos promises to take photos once they are all out of the game. Meanwhile, Frontman watches as the players enter the game, walking through an intricate maze of colorful, interweaving staircases. Player 390 runs up to Gi-hun, clearly recognizing him, and asks what he is doing there. Gi-hun replies by asking why his friend is there too. Player 390 says he has not seen Gi-hun in 3 years and expresses his sympathy over his mother's passing. He is confused about Gi-hun's disappearance and worries it is because he did not lend him money when asked. He shares his struggles. His wife left him, and he lost custody of his child, which is why he is in the game to repay his debts. Gi-hun tells him it is crucial to stay close for the first game. Meanwhile, Junho and his team continue searching for Gi-hun, following the tracker closely. They row up to shore and launch a drone to scout the area, while the first game begins. The game is red light, green light. When it is green light, players can move forward, but when it is red light, they must stop. A giant robot girl watches the players, turning to catch anyone moving.
We are ready to start the game, sir.
This isn't just a game, it's more than that. If you move after red light, you're gonna be shot. They're gonna shoot you. There's guns in the walls.
That guy's gotta be drunk or something. Green light! Red light!
Good job.
Green light! Red light! Green light!
Hold on, wait, aren't you still?
Green light!
Follow me.
Red light! Red light! Hold still! What's that?
You got a bee crawling on you.
A bee?
No matter what happens, don't move, do you hear me?
Green light! Red light! Green light! Red light!
If you don't cross the line in time, they'll still kill you! Time's running out! Go at the next green light!
player 244. Green light!
Tag!
You're near the end! You're almost done!
Green light! Red light! Green light! Red light!
Thank you so much.
Soldiers who have completed your task, please line up in front of your room.
The guards announce that 91 players have been eliminated. Player 149, the mother, and player 007, her son, beg for their release, and other players join in. Gi-hun steps forward and reminds the guards about the voting option to stop the game if the majority agrees. The guard agrees, but first reveals the prize money, 9.1 billion won, which would be split among 365 players, resulting in 24 million won each if they left now. Some players want more and choose to continue the game to increase the prize money. The voting begins, with players voting X to leave and O to stay. Gi-hun votes to stop the game and heads to the X side. At first, it seems the majority want to leave, but soon those who want to stay take the lead. Gi-hun pleads with the players, warning them they will die if they continue. The players start turning on him, questioning how he knows about the game. He admits to having played the game before and that everyone else died except him. Player 100, who has a 10 billion won debt, does not believe him, wondering why Gi-hun would return if he had already won the money. Thanos suggests that Gi-hun could help everyone with tips on the games to make it to the end. As the voting continues, the majority shifts to those wanting to continue. The final vote comes down to player 001, who votes to continue, meaning the game will go on. When player 001 turns around, it is revealed that he is frontman, Junho's older brother and the ruler of the games, though Gi-hun does not know his true identity. Later on, a forklift brings coffins that are disguised as large presents with pink ribbons. The coffins contain the bodies of eliminated players. Guards unload them to place in the incinerators. Gi-hun sits with his old friend player 390. His friend talks about wanting to survive the next game to win more money. Gi-hun warns him, saying players who spoke like that during his previous game all died. Frontman, disguised as player 001, approaches Gi-hun and asks if he will help the group win. Frontman explains that he voted to stay because he realized they could play one last game, win, and leave. Other players nearby agree with him. Gi-hun's friend asks what the next game will be. Gi-hun explains it is Dalgona, where players carve shapes out of honeycomb. He mentions that there are 4 shapes, and that the easiest is the triangle, while the hardest is the umbrella.
That means we all just need to pick the triangle. I feel like everyone should be able to get through this one.
It stays between us, so that means we're the only ones who know. Sound good?
When I'm positive Dalgona's the next thing we're playing, then I'll tell every single player here what I just told you people.
Player 007 looks for his mother, player 149, to tell her about the tip, but she is not around. She has gone to see Junli, player 222, the woman who held her stomach during the first game. Player 149 shares her lunch with Junli and gently tells her that she is not just eating for herself. She reveals that she knows Junli is pregnant. Frontman continues questioning Gi-hun. He asks why Gi-hun came back, and if he has already spent all the money he won. Gi-hun responds that the money does not belong to him and calls it the blood money of the players who died. Gi-hun confronts player saying that with the deciding vote, he should have chosen to leave. Player 001 replies that if he ever met a player who wanted to stay, they would not be pleased to see him. A young man, player 388, steps forward and suggests that everyone should work together as a team. Gi-hun's friend, player 390, notices a tattoo on player 388's arm. He asks if player 388 served in the Marines and shows him a matching tattoo on his own arm. Thanos' friend, one of the men who lost his debt to player 333, approaches him again. Player 333 tells him that investing in crypto ruined his life as well. Thanos joins the conversation and shares that he lost everything he earned from rapping to that same investment.
To you personally.
Shit! Get off him, dickhead!
Mother. So to have all that energy, it's gotta be nice to be that young.
You could really get hurt if this continues. Someone should intervene, right? It's bad manners. Not to mention it's 2 against 1.
You go back home to your own kids, you yell at them. Hey, get your... Ah!
Later that night, Frontman approaches Gi-hun for a private conversation. He apologizes for what happened earlier and explains his situation. He reveals that his wife back home is very sick and needs a liver transplant. He adds that she is also pregnant. He shares that he borrowed money to cover medical expenses, but it was mistaken for a bribe, leading to his dismissal from work. He tearfully admits that entering the games was his last hope and says he wants to win the prize money to save his wife and unborn child. Meanwhile, the guards are dissecting bodies to harvest organs for sale, but many are unusable. They complain that the bodies have been dead too long and say they need some alive. It is revealed that the woman from the amusement park, known as Guard 011, has been killing them off prematurely. The guards report this to one of the officers, who calls Guard 011 for a private meeting. During the meeting, she defends her actions by saying she was completing her task of confirming the kills. The officer responds by asking how long it has been since they first met. He reveals it was 7 years ago when he found her lying in a hospital bed after taking down an entire team pursuing her with only a rifle. He recalls how she crossed the demarcation line on her own. Feeling pity, he gave her a chance to start over. He reminds her that she promised to do anything he asked if he helped her find her child. She tells him she thought being there was about helping people, but it is clear now that it is not.
I saw you in that bed and felt sorry for you, so I decided to give you a chance to start over.
And I'll always be grateful for your help, sir.
There's no way anyone's going to find out about it, and even if they do,
That's not my issue.
Then what is it, huh?
You wanted to find the kid you left behind, and if I could make that happen, you'd do anything.
I'd be helping people with no hope and their misery so they wouldn't have to suffer anymore.
All we're doing is using their organs to help save others.
At the police station, Jun-ho visits his former boss in major crimes. The boss is still upset that Jun-ho resigned but agrees to take him to the chief. Jun-ho explains that Gi-hun is on the island and that the games are happening, but the chief dismisses his claims, demanding evidence. He refuses to take action and tells the boss to accept Jun-ho's resignation. Jun-ho and a man from Sunshine Capital decide to investigate on their own. They split into 2 teams with 2 boats. On the island, the second game is about to begin. Gi-hun lines up by the triangle shape. When he opens the lid, he sees a series of complicated triangles instead of the simple one he expected.
Bruh. Even an ex-Marine couldn't get that out. Oh, you said you already played this one. You said that you played it before.
No! But he suddenly wakes up and realizes it was just a nightmare. Jun-Lee approaches player 333, the man who was calling her before they entered the games. She confronts him, saying he was the one who told her to invest in crypto, which led to her debt. He notices that she is pregnant and tells her he had advised her to get an abortion. She reveals that it is his child but says she did not go through with it. She tells him she plans to raise the child on her own. The real second game begins. Thanos swallows another pill from his necklace. When the players enter the game, it is not what Gi-hun expected. The game has been changed. Instead of playing individually, the players are told to form teams of 5. Frontman decides to team up with Gi-hun, his friend player 390, and the young Marine, player 388. They realize they still need one more teammate, but just then, Jun-Lee asks to join them. They accept her into the group. The game is revealed. It is a 6-legged pentathlon. At each 10-meter interval on the track, one member of each team must play a mini-game. If they win, the team progresses to the next stage. The 5 mini-games are Dakji, the card game the salesman plays. Flying stone. Players must use 1 stone to knock down another. Dice game. Using 5 dice, players must pick them up in a specific order. Spinning top. A player must wrap a rope around a top and spin it successfully. Sack kicking. A player must kick a sack 5 times in a row without letting it drop. Each team must assign 1 player to each mini-game. Gi-hun's team is deciding their strategy when Frontman addresses Gi-hun by his real name. He explains that he overheard Gi-hun's friend using it, but Gi-hun feels slightly suspicious.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. So we can move on.
The player stepped over the line.
You have to
Hold it up tight. Now listen, it's okay. Look, just stay calm. Relax, Gogan.
I think messing up spinning top is going to take even longer to recover from.
Hurry, do it! I did it! Wait, don't shoot! No, don't do it! We should have left! Now we're all gonna die! Just died because of you!
Yo,
You're the one
think
who
you could give me a
killed
taste of one of those?
This time, the guards immediately enter to remove the bodies to prevent the organs from becoming unusable. The next two teams step forward to play. One of these teams includes the mother and son, along with players 044, 120, and 095. They are all nervous, but the game begins.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1.
Got this. Now.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Okay. Oh, damn it!
1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Okay.
Those guys can move even faster backwards.
1. Okay. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Hurry up! You'll have.
She did it! Did it! Go, run! Quick, run! Go! Hurry! 1, 2, 1.
Why is this taking so long? She needs to try to hold up the top.
Oh, God of heaven and earth, have mercy on this poor soul. God, please.
Hurry!
Success. You must kick the Jackie 5 times to pass. 1, 4. Success.
We got this. I have faith. We got a previous winner with us.
1, 2, 1. We're here. We're here. Knock it over! I believe in you, sir! Yeah!
Here we go.
Amazing, Dale! That was 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
At this rate, the whole team might get it on the first try. If you're ever gonna grow, you need to fail first, right?
Yeah.
All right, backwards.
Fail.
That takes real talent, doesn't it?
1, 2, 1. Ready, set. 1, 2, 1, 2.
1,
Yeah.
Don't rush
Slowly,
it.
slowly.
Wait, don't throw it.
Hey! Yeah! No one's blaming any of this on you. Now, take a deep breath. Good. Take your time. Don't rush. I know how to play Get Lost. 3, 4.
Oh, he did it! He hit it!
The other team, unable to finish in time, is shot and eliminated. After the second game, the remaining teams gather together and talk about what happened. Meanwhile, the guards return to their room, but two of them suddenly rush toward guard 011 as she is entering. One of the guards in the surveillance room quickly covers up the CCTV feed to hide what is happening. Guard 011 tries to fight them off, but one of the guards pulls out a knife and presses it to her face. He gives her a final warning to stop getting in their way, especially when it comes to interfering with their work of harvesting organs from the players. He warns her to stop shooting the players when they are attempting to save the organs, making it clear that she must not disrupt their efforts again. Meanwhile, in the main room, the guards enter to announce the results of the second game. The piggy bank, which has been collecting money from the players who have died, is now filled with 20.1 billion won, representing the money from 110 dead players. This money will now be split between the 255 remaining players, meaning each of them will receive 73 million won. The players, however, are not pleased with this outcome. They feel frustrated and angry, believing that more people should have died in order to increase their individual share of the prize money. As a result, the vote on whether they should continue playing or stop the game begins again. Frontman is the first to cast his vote. He votes to stop the game and says he wants to leave in order to go to the hospital and be with his wife. While the rest of the team seems to agree with him, Gi-hun's friend appears to be less certain. As the voting continues, some players change their votes, but it remains fairly even. Thanos' friend takes advantage of a young player, player 125, and bullies him into voting to stay as well. Frontman steps forward and urges the players to leave the game, but the man with the 10 billion won debt tells the players that the 73 million won they would receive if they stopped playing would not be enough to cover their debts. He suggests that if they play one more game, they could win at least 240 million won each. The players begin to agree with him, saying they are just playing simple children's games.
I owed more than 500 million. I need to make it out with at least half that.
If they lose you, that's it. It's over. You're dead. And they get nothing.
These are kids' games. None of this is actually hard. We've come all this way already, right? So let's just play one more game!
One more game, no more, no less.
Yeah, one more game, we can do it!
One more game! One more game! One more game!
All players will proceed to the third game tomorrow morning.
Thanos' team confronts the crypto guy after he votes to leave. Thanos angrily tells him he owes him the money he lost, but player 333 defends himself, explaining that the coin did go up in value. However, Thanos did not sell it before it dropped. During Lights Out, Gi-hun barricades his team in and warns them that killing each other also adds to the piggy bank. This means they are not safe at night. Frontman, player 001, dismisses Gi-hun's warning, claiming he does not believe it to be true. Gi-hun responds, saying that Frontman does not understand the place the way he does. The mother gets up to go to the toilet and secretly pulls a knife out from her hair grip, showing it to her son to let him know she can protect herself if needed. Jun-Li accompanies her, but the guards try to stop them from entering. The mother pleads with the guard, and they are eventually allowed to pass. Player 120 asks to join them as well. Meanwhile, Gi-hun stays awake, keeping guard. His friend wakes up and apologizes for not lending him money when Gi-hun asked. He says he was not angry at him, but Gi-hun's friend feels that Gi-hun should not have come back to the game. He believes Gi-hun should have started a new life instead. Gi-hun explains that he came back to ensure everyone could escape and to end the game once and for all. However, now he feels helpless, unable to make a difference. They reminisce about old times, but Frontman lies awake, listening to their conversation. Meanwhile, Junho and the two teams continue their search for the island, heading out on boats. The third game is about to begin. Thanos and his friend take more pills from his necklace to steady themselves. The players are instructed to step onto a platform in the center of the room. Once they do, the platform begins to spin. Eventually, it will stop, and a number will be called out. The players must form a team that matches that number. They then have 30 seconds to enter one of the 50 doors leading to the next room. If they do not make it in time, or if the number of people in the team is wrong, they will be eliminated. The music begins and the platform starts to spin, signaling the start of the game.
10 players.
We're right, that makes 10. Here, come with us.
Hold on! Hold on! We have 9 too! No, we have 10!
Room 44, the light green room.
Every person in here owes me their lives!
Almost gave me a heart attack.
The following players have been eliminated. 4 players.
Now what? It's okay, you 4 go. Come on.
I'll be alright. You guys go, hurry! 3 people! I need 3
Wait, are you
people!
sure?
Young Eel's gonna be okay.
Holy shit. It's okay. I don't think he noticed.
Room 33, eliminated.
Wait!
Oh, thank God. There you are.
Hold on, I just realized. If we have to form groups of 6 next round, then we won't need anyone else.
Start the round.
3 players.
Come on!
Play for it!
What? Rock, paper, scissors!
Let's go together.
Let's go! Quick, hurry! Move it!
Hurry up!
Find a room! One more!
One more!
Anyone!
Good mom, let me go!
Player 34. Player 38. 6 players.
Okay, 4 women and 2 men, go!
Get the hell out!
Attention
players. The final round will now begin.
What number do you think we're gonna get next? 2. If you don't find one fast, you're done for.
2 players.
Get in! Get in!
3, 2, 1.
With the room now full, the game ends. Meanwhile, on the water, Junho's team is flying a drone, searching for any signs of the island. Junho explains that they need to clear all the islands he has already checked so that he can narrow down their search area, hoping to find the location of the deadly game. Back in the main room, player 333 pulls Junli aside. He suggests that once they make it out, they should start fresh together. He believes they could combine their winnings so he can pay off his debts and begin investing again. Junli, however, angrily rejects this idea. She tells him that she will use her money to raise their child and that he needs to pay off his own debts without relying on her. Gi-hun's team begins calculating the chances that, with the remaining players, they might be able to win the next vote to leave. Frontman urges them to stay calm and focus on the task ahead. Gi-hun argues that they need to convince the others to join their side, but Frontman warns that trying to force people over would only lead to violence and further complications. The guards enter the room to announce the results of the third game.
Congratulations to you all.
356 million. Okay, that's good.
Player 456, please cast your vote. We appreciate your cooperation.
After the results, the guards return to their rooms and guard 011 is approached once more by one of the men who had attacked her earlier. He gives her a cryptic message saying, "Keep up the good work." The voting begins again, with the numbers split roughly down the middle. To sway the vote in favor of leaving, the group against staying, marked by an X, needs 7 players to change their votes. A few players, including the young man from Thanos' team, player 124, have switched their votes. He no longer wants to team up with Thanos' group after betraying the female member of their team earlier. The vote continues to shift, with tension rising as the outcome remains uncertain. Elsewhere, the team on the water heads onto the island on foot, determined to investigate what the drone had seen. Upon reaching the spot, they discover a hatch leading underground. When they open it to explore further, a massive explosion erupts, sending team members flying through the air. Back at the main room, the remaining players cast their votes. The vote to continue the game is narrowly led by 1 vote in favor, with the O vote gaining momentum. The son, player 007, steps up to cast his vote, remembering how he voted to stay last time, letting down his mother. This time, however, his mother is confident he will vote to leave, and to her relief, he does. The tension builds as only 2 players remain to cast their votes. Player 006 and Frontman. In the previous vote, both had chosen to leave, but this time, player 006 surprises everyone by voting to stay. In the main room, the vote to stay or leave continues. Gi-hun's team needs player 001 to vote to leave again to create a tie. Gi-hun's friend tries to explain what player 001 did in the last game, where he killed a player who would not leave, but he is interrupted. When player 001 votes to leave, it creates a tie, surprising everyone. The guard then announces that if the vote results in a tie, they will have to vote again the following day. Back in the main room, Gi-hun asks his friend to finish explaining about player 001. His friend decides not to tell him. Gi-hun's team tries to sway someone from the opposing side to join them, but the argument grows heated. Player 100, the older man with a large debt, says they should stay and win the game for themselves. The 2 sides shout at each other, and tensions rise. In the men's bathroom, Thanos and his friend confront the young guy who previously switched sides, trying to convince him to join them again. Player 333 intervenes to defend him.
Leave him alone. These 2 were just threatening one of us a second ago. They're pressuring someone to change sides so they'll win the vote.
Mr. Wait.
I'll cut off one of your sticky little fingers.
It's all Thanos' property now!
Team uses the fork to repeatedly stab another player he has been fighting. An announcement in the main room reveals the eliminated players, and the prize fund continues to grow. After the chaos, Thanos' friend, the X's, retort that it was the O's who provoked it. A divide forms between the two sides, and player 100 demands a head count to determine the balance of votes. That night on the boat, it is an advantage in the vote. However, there is still the challenge of surviving the night. During Lights Out, the players from both sides begin to fight.
Quiet!
We don't make any moves until the fighting's over. We wait and we keep still.
Without us there to help them fight, they'll be outnumbered. So what you're saying is, sacrifice a few for the good of the rest.
They'll want to step in before too many players get killed or injured. After all, they still need us strong enough to play the next game. Once the lights come back on, the guards will rush into the room, securing the room.
Check the eliminations.
They'll start scanning the bodies.
Retreat. Attention all soldiers. Please take
Ravines, ensuring they stay focused. They shoot out the cameras in the main room, and the officer orders all troops to assemble. Gi-hun's team gathers as many weapons and ammo as they can and begins their plan to head up the staircase and confront the people behind the game. Some players hesitate to join them, but Gi-hun's friend makes a passionate plea, convincing a few to join the rebellion. Player 100 and the last remaining guard to unmask, revealing that he is young and inexperienced. They force him to lead them to the people who run the game. As they ascend the stairwell, more guards appear and up the stairs, shooting out the cameras along the way.
1 o'clock! 1 o'clock!
Can't let them get to the management area.
Go with you.
Jump in, I can go.
To the players. Player 120, concerned, decides to head back down to investigate what happened. Frontman, as promised, finds a way around the guards with 2 other players. He signals Gi-hun and his friend on the radio to start shooting to take out the guards from behind. However, as Gi-hun and his friend stand in front of Frontman, he betrays them, shooting both players in the back. The betrayal deepens the conflict as the players now realize they cannot trust Frontman. Gi-hun asks about player 001's side, and Frontman responds that it is over. He plays his dying teammates' sounds over the radio, pretending they've been killed. Gi-hun screams in pain as Frontman orders and shoots Gi-hun's friend, forcing Gi-hun to watch.
Did you have fun playing the hero? Witness the consequences of your little game.
Player 390 eliminated.
And this is where the Season 2 ends. Be sure to subscribe and like the video for more content, and as always, thank you very much for watching.